So at this day, 20 years ago, I was sitting at a Mark Knopfler's show in my hometown, and I can prove that because I even have this, which is the original poster from the show, and it says some ads here, 28th of April, in Russian of course, because I'm Russian. It says 28th of April from 8 p.m. The voice and guitar of Dire Straits, 20 years ago. Crazy, time flies. And I just wanted to talk a little about my 20 years of being a fan, talk about what it means to me to be a fan of something, not only Mark Knopfler's music, but everything in general. And also I wanted to show off a little of my collection, because in 20 years you're bound to collect some things, and of course you can't enter my house because it's just filled with Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits stuff. But I'm kidding. I don't have practically anything, so here is a cool thing. Here is my privateering mug. It was a present from a friend. Great thing, great little mug. I love it. What else? So that's it. This is the mug. This is the original poster from 2005. Also, here's the thing I'm really proud of. This is my limited edition The Rec Picker's Dream LP. This is an awesome thing. It's a really rare vinyl. Of course, now you can buy a reissue, but it's the real numbered vinyl thing. Also, yeah, hello everybody. Good evening. Yeah, I want good questions. So here is a guy who's been a fan of Mark Knopfler for 20 years. Ask me anything. So another gem here is my original On the Night DVD, probably pirated, maybe pirated, I don't know, but this is the state of it. You can see here. Oh, can you? Yeah, I played it to death, pretty much. It's absolutely destroyed. I don't know, I played it probably more than you should. I remembered every single cut and every single line, so that I was 15 and it was fun. And so that's pretty much, this is pretty much it. This is the Shangri-La bootleg, the one and only bootleg of mine. In 20 years, you see, this is how you prove you're a great fan. So this is my only bootleg, and it was a gift. What else? This is One Take Radio Sessions, also probably pirated copy, but it's a great album. Now probably the most impressive part of my collection is this Sailing to Philadelphia, original Sailing to Philadelphia album with Mark's signature. It's interesting because he never knew that he sang it for me, because it was obtained by a friend of mine, and it was, you guessed it, a gift. And so with that in mind, you kind of think about it, and Mark never knew that he sang it for me, and I never obtained it from him, so it renders this signature practically useless. So I don't want it. Yeah, and take a look around. I don't see anything else that's Knopfler inspired, to be honest. So that's everything I can share you in 20 years. And also my Gibson guitar also was a gift. So everything is a gift. How about a bit of Sailing to Philadelphia? Yeah, so not a lot of things I've collected, and I almost never bought any records. And you see, because I 2005 was this crossing time between the 19s and the 2000s, when it's not entirely 19s anymore, and not exactly this digital age. So I remember the first MacBook Air came out probably in 2009 or something, and it was already lacking CDs. So I barely scratched this iceberg. And I also can share some photos with you, actually. So here is my original ticket from this show. And I need to restart capture. Yeah, so that's my original ticket from the show, and I still have it. So if you go to the one and only On Every Bootleg website and take a look at tour dates, Shangri-La tours, or you can see it's pretty much in this second half of Mark's career, and go to 28th of April. Here's my ticket. This is it. Yeah. 20 years. What else can I share in this regard? I took one picture, I believe. We had a simple Pentax camera, and we took this photo right there of Mark and the band, I believe playing Donegan's Gun, actually. Yeah, Donegan's Gun. Of course, I was 15 and I never knew that it's Donegan's Gun. It's like, it was just great music to me. But now I know, and any fan will take a look at this picture and he's like, Donegan's Gun, because that's the Dan Electro guitar, Richard playing rhythm, double bass, everything looks like Donegan's Gun. And so that was the only picture I think we took that night. We went there with my dad and my brother. They are normal people, so it's only I caught this Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits disease, I think. So they are normal people. What else? Yeah, the very first picture I actually saw Mark was this. So you can imagine me being 15 years old, and it was like some kind of a booklet or something. And I see this man, and the article said something like, amazing virtuoso, greatest rock guitar player of all time, blah blah blah. You see at this guy in a simple sweater, simple pants, in a blank space, holding a simple guitar, no fancy anything, pretty much just a simple bare bones Stratocaster, really simple attire, and you think how this is the greatest rock star of all time. He's playing something like something like this minor, probably, or this. Probably a chord like this. Great, it's a great image, and probably my favorite era of Mark's career, actually. And crazy to think it was only 3.5 years after 9/11. So it was really recent. 9/11 happened really recently, up until this point. Привет, Харьков. Всем привет. Yeah, so that was the first picture I saw Mark, and I think it represents him a great deal. This simple guy, no like crazy guitars with crazy schemes or crazy, just a simple Strat, not like this one, fancier. It's a 61, I believe, a genuine 61 Strat, but anyway, simple guitar, simple music, really. Let's see what I've got else. Who has been Mark's best rhythm guitarist? Saw him with Robbie McIntosh. Absolutely. That's a difficult question because obviously the Richard would be the best guitar player because he played with Mark probably more than anyone else in history, and you can actually hear him better than anyone else. It depends. I like them all. Robbie McIntosh he's a genius on his own right. What was the most difficult Knopfler song to learn? To me, it was Song for Sonny Liston. Because in classic songs like Telegraph Road and all these classics, I think it's easier even, but with Song for Sonny Liston, it's incredibly difficult to get this vibe. It's a really difficult song, especially if you count in soloing, singing, and all the rest of it. It's probably, for me, it's the most difficult. Yeah, and yeah, so that was the beginning of my journey. And then right away I actually started learning guitar before that, and I started uploading tablatures. And let me share this picture. So that would be tablature statistics. So I joined ultimateguitar.com, which is this, by the way, Russian website where you share tablatures. I joined that in 2006, as you can see, and started just bombarding the internet with tablatures. As you can see, 2.5 million views of my tablatures, and people spent 171 hours playing my tablatures, which is crazy to think about. writing tablatures is one of the things I'm obsessed with, and luckily it got some amazing reviews and a lot of views. As you can see, 2.5 million for a tablature. That's a huge number, I must admit. So it's not a viral video. A tablature is something that people look up specifically to learn this song or these chords. So it's a lot of views. And after I started my channel, in 10 years it's something like 6 million views or something. So it's really, I know I sometimes diminish these numbers, but it's a lot of people watching specific, again, content. And what else interesting? So of course, famously probably, Mark actually canceled a couple of shows, as you can see here. So that was 2013 when he did that. And of course that was a dividing thing, because I visited one show at 2005, another one in 2008, where I actually took some pictures, and I'll show you a few of those. So that will be the one. This is my picture. Here's another one. And that was the last show where I was taking pictures, because later on I figured I don't want it anymore. That these are decent pictures, I think. So again, back to this topic. So Mark cancelled 2 shows in Moscow and St. Petersburg. I was at first I was with the crowd and I was angry about it, but then I learned what that meant, and how actually ahead of the game Mark was in this regard. So you can imagine, now you look at this and you get it, but 10 years ago or whatever, it was a bold decision to make, of course, but it was divisive, that's for sure. And still in Russia you can encounter people who like, I remember this guy, he canceled the shows, I bought tickets, whatever, separate music from politics, blah blah blah. I agree with both groups, to be honest, but that's history already. So what else interesting I can share here? That's the picture I really like. It was taken by some Russian photographer, and I asked him to send this picture to me. It's really great. I think it's from 2008. Yeah, so in my previous live streams I already was talking about my journey of how I worked in some blogs, posted about Mark's music, translated lyrics, told stories about the songs, whatever. Let's read some questions. Which solo album is your favorite? Mine is 75 Latvia. Well, I don't know whether it's the first time, because I started my Knopfler journey in 2005, or whether it's because it's just a great album, but mine is probably Shangri-La. It's incredible. Just Mark at his best, I think. Hi from France. Yeah, hi from France. Hi France, I love France. Recently enjoyed some lessons of people from France. It's so amazing. Yeah, and by the way, the main question is where have you been? Probably because that's something I get asked a lot. The short answer is just because I was depressed, honestly. And I was depressed not because something really terrible has happened, but just because a lot of tiny little things got out of hand, and so it became so overwhelming that I couldn't handle it anymore. And so like I lost interest in guitar, I lost interest in music really, and so in YouTube I even lost my calluses on my left hand here. So it's like I forgot that guitar exists for a while. So that's the main reason. And but of course, obviously, I'm being supported in Patreon, and so I couldn't just stop. So I was constantly thinking about how I can improve my game, how I can get back to and love guitar again. And luckily, I think time is a great healer, and I think I'm back on track. So I'm already working on new videos, and I bought a new guitar actually to try to record content with. And so yeah, that's the short answer is depression, simply depression. Yeah, the fines are good. Thank you, Mom. I love backstory to his songs. What's your favorite? Tunnel 13 is amazing. Train robbery. Yeah, Mark is so I wanted to talk about a little bit about what I learned in 20 years. So the thing I was thinking lately a lot about is that Mark's music is perfect music for perfectionists. And it sounds stupid probably, but if you think about it, I've spent a great deal of time talking to Mark's fans over the years. It's probably over 100 at this point. And so, and closely working with them on my guitar lessons because I teach one-on-one, and I'm constantly in touch with people. And so what I noticed is that the typical fan of this music, he admires details, he admires attention to detail, and when we work on songs together, you get this sense of which I'm constantly getting when I'm learning the songs. When I'm learning the songs, I'm getting these aha moments and this just sheer astonishment at the finesse and beauty of these things. And you take any song like, say, Boom Like That, and it's a relatively simple song. It's got the little riff, how it went. it's a relatively simple riff, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 chords, 4 or 5 chords. Really simple song, but then it gets to this part where it's which is, by the way, the authentic way to play it, because I tried to play it many ways, and I figured that this is the best one, which goes like, so basically this G triad to this A, and then this thing, this lick, it comes up in a song for 3 times or something, or 4 times, I can't remember exactly, but it arrives at the perfect moment, at a precise moment in the song. It builds up to this point, and then the solo happens after that, and it's just like, solo happens just, and when I teach this song, we with my students both say like, that's so good. Or when some other song, like, I don't know, Madame Geneva's comes up and you play, it's a regular waltz, it's like like this arrives out of the blue, and everybody's like, wow, what it was. And it's a really simple chord, so it's like F sharp minor with this open third string on the hanging. All little things like that. Or I don't know, from the early songs it could be something like lines, the chorus for lines. And going back to, so cool, just the little details like that. Or the ending chord of Ballone Again, which is in on itself is a great song, and it went like, chords like these, moments like that. Or when I'm teaching something like Money for Nothing, it's also ridiculous, because you start with a little slide, and even then you can talk about this thing for hours, because what kind of slide it is this kind of hard slide, or it's like light slide. You can talk about this stuff for a long time. And by the way, speaking of money for nothing, if we'll go to my website here, I actually updated the tablature for money for nothing. That's my website, by the way. Still standing. Still standing for how many years? Established in 2016. So coming up at 10 years. So if you go to money for nothing here, okay, I actually updated the tablature here, so you can see it's PDF here, guitar profile, ultimate guitar, and this tablature right there, it's incredibly detailed. So you can see it I even added a little legend here, so like index, middle, and downstroke, index, middle, and pluck, thumb plus index, middle, 2 on 3 strings. So this is what I was talking about. It's so detailed. And the thing about Mark's music, what I said about it's being a perfect music for perfectionists, is because everybody who appreciates attention to detail, he will appreciate these songs. And it's not like it's full of theory or crazy musical things, crazy modulations or modes or whatnot. The thing about Mark's music is that it's built out of simple things, simple bricks. And this is a great example of it, because all it is really is a downstroke with 2 fingers, thumb, and pluck with 2 fingers. And so you've got a guitar out of tune, but it's always out of tune on live streams for some reason. But anyway, here's the guitar profile. That's the ultimate guitar tablature. And by the way, speaking of tabs, I also recently updated the tablature for On Every Street, which is another classic, really. So here's the new tablature. For years it was a really badly written thing where it just wasn't good at all. This thing you can actually play. And again, speaking of little details, so you've got in this thing, you've got things like, which I like, this moment where it's E minor, it says E minor, so you're playing so what Mark is doing, he's holding the E minor chord, but not playing it. Because why? Because guitar resonates, and so if you're holding a chord and you play even a guitar like this, it's a simple Chinese or Indonesian square, strings resonate, and so if I play, even if I just do this, you've got E minor. And so even though I'm not playing these notes here, and I wrote down, it's like note in brackets R for fretting hand, fretting hand only, not intended to be played with the picking hand. And so I'm holding the E minor, but I'm not playing it. And it makes a huge difference, actually. So that's the new tablature, which is actually playable, playable this time. It only took me 8 years to update that because I'm really slow, and chord symbols too. Didn't know you did live streaming. Yeah, I rarely do live streams because it's an improvisational medium, and I'm not really good at improvisation. I'm much more in love with scripted stuff, and like in classical music, you've got this written, like this tablature. You've got something written down, and you're just interpreting it. That's what I do. I treat Mark's music like classical music pretty much. Merhaba, are you still in Turkey? No, I'm not in Turkey. Nail length. It's funny because I started playing classical guitar, and because I'm a perfectionist, and unfortunately, perfectionism is a disease, and I know Mark never calls himself a perfectionist, but he is, trust me, in a good sense of the word, because like I said, perfectionism is a disease, and when you're too obsessed with details, that's of course a problem, because you can just work on one thing endlessly, and I for sure I could never do something like this if I would be a classical perfectionist, because I couldn't even finish one song. You take one song 5:15 a.m. and you just can't do it because it's impossible. But I need to keep moving. I need to keep moving with all these songs, and so eventually unfortunately I stopped, but I plan to resume. So stay tuned, as they say. So speaking about nails, so I hated when I played classical guitar. I absolutely hated long nails because I just hate how it looks, especially on man's hand. I think it looks a little bit out of place, to be honest. But it's a tradition and it's a sound. So, but what I did was I tried to make the sound from the guitar with the least amount of nails. So I grew like, I don't know, 1 millimeter of nail. And I know that some players actually, well, first of all, in the classical guitar tradition, they started without nails. So nails came a little bit after in the classical guitar tradition, and but there's still some contemporary players like the recently, not recently already, but deceased French, famous French guitar player Roland Diens. So it's so he played with almost virtually with no nails, and still got really good sound. And so for Mark's music, you don't really need nails, to be honest. I don't have, so it's like the most for me. It's like this, and I can play it. It's basically it's by building a calluses on the right hand, just like in the song. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. It's basically a story of life story of anyone who tried to play Mark's music. And because I often would get a blister on my little finger. Funny enough. So I think Mark keeps a little bit of nails. I don't know why. I don't know his reasoning for that. Probably he loved the sound. Probably it's convenient. I don't know. I also saw this video where he famously, I think it was the Wembley show, where they were playing Two Young Lovers, and Mark said like, "Bring me the Clippers" or something. It was really fun. I think it was not intended to be to show that he plays with nails as much as he just got a little problem with his nail, and so needed to get rid of it ASAP. Hi from Morocco, wow. I would love to visit this part of the world, that's for sure. Greetings from Zurich, amazing place too. I think half of the world would dream of visiting this place. Why you use the Squire Mini Strat? That's the question everybody asks, and I think even David Knopfler asked me why once. He asked me on Facebook, like, why you use the Mini Strat. Well, it's just such a lovely instrument. It's incredibly enjoyable to play because it's small. And if you know guitars, you know that the regular scale guitar is huge, and no matter what you do with it, unless you're a 2 meter giant, I'm not a giant person. I'm 5'7" or something. I can't remember exact figures. So for me, this size is completely perfect, and it fits everywhere, and it sounds good. And especially if you tune it up a little bit with new tuners and stuff like that, it's just great. I love great instruments too, but to me, Squire Mini is the best guitar I ever play. It fits in the frame of things like this almost completely. The most frequent comment you get when you're looking to buy one of these things is, I bought it for my kid, and I just end up playing it on the couch, just like and falling asleep playing it because it's just too much fun. I'm just a fan of everything that has MIDI in it. My audio interface is MIDI. I just bought another guitar with MIDI stuff on it. Another mini guitar, by the way. I love iPhone mini, micro, mini. If it's micro or mini, I'm there. Alchemy Live? Yeah, I love this show. Good evening from Belgium. Yeah, I will also dream to visit Belgium. Nice to see you back. Yeah, I'm kinda back. I'm feeling better now, and certainly want to continue with my channel. What was the first song you learned to play from Mark, and how long have you been playing guitar? It's difficult to remember. It was 20 years ago. First song, it wasn't Sultans of Swing, because I'm a weird guy and I never was into famous and most popular stuff. This is my thing. First song you learn to play, that's I can't remember. I played probably for a year at that point, and I played classical guitar. I wish I would remember these things, because it's interesting for me too, but I forgot everything. I lost everything. I lost every single of my CDs, first CDs. I never collected many of the CDs in the first place, but I lost them all except for these that I showed you. So I'm a terrible fan. Once Upon a Time from Princess Bride. It's interesting, yeah. I never learned it actually. It's worth checking into. In fact, I'll write down it right now. So, Once Upon a Time from Princess Bride, learn. Yeah, so anything you want me to learn, you can just drop it down and I'll try to learn it. Silver Eagle, I recorded a video on this song. Greetings from Croatia, great country, yeah. I worked in a firm that specialized in yachts and stuff like that and tours, and I spent a great deal of checking information about all these beautiful countries. Croatia, also Turkey, yeah, hi from Italy. Can you play Working on It? Working on It is in dropped D tuning, I believe, if I remember correctly. So I tune it down to drop D, then put a capo on the exactly how it went, but that's the gist of it, I think. Capo on the 7th fret, I believe, and the dropped D tuning. And of course, it's not intended to be played on an electric guitar. It's an acoustic guitar song. It's a great little track. Let's try to remember it. So I'm playing pom 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 pom, and the downstrokes on every, so it's like a little rhythm section here, and that's the D5, D power chord. It went something like that. I think in one of the live streams I actually covered this track. It's another. So the title of this thing is Working on It, and it's from Wag the Dog soundtrack, which is kind of the famous movie with De Niro about political manipulations. And it's an example of the track where I would say that's the perfectionism in Mark, where the perfectionism shines, because the sounds, the guitar sound, the keyboard sound, the drums, every single detail in this little track really that nobody knows about, but it's perfect. And I agree, this you can unconditionally love it, because only unconditionally. And who can't play, some advice to husband who can't play 5:15. For some reason 5:15 a.m. is brought up in every single live stream that I make. because it's a great song, and it's the capo on the third fret. So that's already giving you a hint how to approach it, because when I started, I wrongly assumed that it's with the capo on the first fret. Like, I suppose a lot of people learn it this way, and I think even my tablature, my early tablature, says the capo on the first fret, and it's this kind of sound. But it's actually the capo on the third fret. It works way better, and looks and sounds something like this. And speaking of little details, so I was learning this song with a student of mine, and it's got a pretty classic and simple strumming, eighth note strumming pattern. So it goes something like. So with the bass like that, so it's, if you slow it down, it's like. But in the beginning, in the intro, it's not played entirely. So it stops for a brief moment. So it goes like. And then continues. And you can't, if you miss this little pause, it's not 5:15 a.m. anymore. So I'll play the intro without this little pause there, and you see like how it sounds. So. And I can't even continue because I'm mentally disoriented. So it's like. So it's disorienting, it's boring, and it's kind of uninteresting, and I don't know, this tiny little absence of music, it's really what makes this intro work. So it goes. Now it's 5:15 a.m. So what I would suggest doing is try to first. So the steps, my usual steps anyway, would be try to learn this pattern, which right hand or picking hand pattern, which is really not that complicated. And the left hand chords, it's really that simple. So that would be C Regina bass, F. Minor. So yeah, I think if you want to learn it, you absolutely can learn it. And of course I would record a better video on this song now, after spending some time actually teaching people. But anyway, I think you can drop me a message or email, and I can answer it. Any tips for On Every Street? Oh man, a lot of questions here. I need to move faster. Tips for on every street. Instrumental part doesn't sound right. Yeah, so on every street, like I said, I've got a new tablature here for on every street. And so let me get myself out of the way. So it's a really difficult so the problems here is that you see all these shapes here, incomplete shapes. So it's incomplete, or I suppose complete, but this one here is in brackets, so I'm holding it but I'm not playing it. And here I'm holding a complete E minor, but I'm not playing the 5th string, as you can see. Here I'm not playing this 2nd string, 1st string and the 5th string. So I'm pretty much concentrating, as you can see, on strings 4 and 3. A good thing about this riff is that it's a 2-part riff, and the second part, if you pay close attention, it almost mirrors the first part. So these 4 bars here, and this bar 5th is exactly the same as the first one, so 1-to-1 correspondence here. The second one is exactly the same up until this little moment here, where it goes up until this little hammer on here. This is exactly the same as the 3rd bar, and the 4th bar, the difference here is of course this little pull-off thing, which brings you back to the so yeah, I can't give any specific tips because it's a really difficult riff which you can spend a lot of time just mastering. That is beautiful, and it's a part of the entire song. So like, it's gotta be a regular view someplace, it's gotta be in somebody's place. Beautiful, a beautiful song, and a beautiful riff. You can really spend so much time learning just all these little details, like thumb going down at the same time with the index finger. This shape. Yeah, the good thing about this particular riff is that even when Mark played it recently in his recent tours, he would just ignore this fancy stuff, and he played something like, I don't know, I can't approximate it right now. It was something like so he would not even leave the first position, because in Dire Straits days he would go into the third position like that, but here he would play. And in my video on this song I talk about how in this particular riff the melody is more important, really, because all you need, and if we go back to this example here, all you need here is this melody, which it goes like, and when you're playing this riff, this is the kind of thing I'm thinking about. So I'm thinking about this melody. So and I'm singing it when I'm playing it. When I'm playing it, I'm singing it, and of course I'm spending too much time here. Baloney again. And Rudiger, there was a great moment, and I think he played this song in my show I attended 20 years ago. It was a chord like, so the song went something like, after the solo, Mark played something like a shape like this, or probably something more crazy than that. And it was a great shape in Baloney again too, I believe. It was something like or something. So things like that, it doesn't happen too often in Mark's music. It's usually very simple and very, like, one of the things that really surprises me about his music is that Mark's voice is really low. So he can get really low, I think, in the, not in the Leonard Cohen type of territory, of course, but he can sing really low, and his voice is naturally really low. But his singing is in this perfect Goldilocks zone when everybody can sing it, and my voice is not low by any means, but I can approximate almost all of his songs, save for a couple of I can't sing, like Golden Heart. I can sing Golden Heart because it's in G. It gets a little bit too down. And the Wreckpacker's Dream, which is in E major, and I can't sing the low E on the guitar. I can only sing the low A. Thanks for great videos. Cool. Just as big of a fan as you are. Yeah, well, compared to people I've met over the years, I'm not a fan at all. Because, yeah, I've got this website and I've got this channel, but over than that, it's crazy how little I actually care about being a fan. but it takes me to the discussion of what it means to me to be a fan of something, because you see, it, it's really difficult for me, because if I watch a movie, so say I watch a movie that I really like, it gets really serious, because strap yourself in, I will know everything about this movie. I will know where it was shot, on which camera. I will watch every single interview with actors, with directors. I'll watch commentary track from Roger Ebert. I'll watch commentary from critics. I'll read reviews, and so if I become a fan of something or someone, I will know more than it's possible to know about something. So if I watch a really great movie, something like, I don't know, The Sound of Music, say, I will learn every single story about the movie, and by the time I finish with that, I pretty much become this expert in something. It could be a movie or it could be a book. So it's that's for me what it means to be a fan of something. It's learning everything you possibly could, and it applies to this logic when I'm learning Mark's music, is because I love it so much. I just try to learn it as perfectly as possible, pretty much. And so the idea of perfectionism, to me at least, it's not getting something perfect, because perfection doesn't exist, of course. But what it means to me is a perfectionist sets the bar so high that a failure of a perfectionist is a great result for somebody else whose bar is lower. So you see, if you set a bar this high and you fail, somebody else would set it lower, and he would consider this an achievement. And so that's the idea of perfectionism to me. It's more like the strive for perfection, but not achieving it, of course, because it's impossible. Mm. Bologna again, Rudiger. Cheers from Calgary. Yeah, I remember your questions. Yeah, the question was where you've been. Oh, hi from Canada. I find myself, so Darren asks, hi from Canada, I find myself doing a lot of theory, scales, triad lessons, and feel like I make no progress. Do you recommend staying on the lesson path or just learning Mark's songs before the theory? Interesting question. Interesting question, and another huge discussion. So I don't know. It's so old, this topic of theory versus just enjoying the music, but there are basically two paths you can take, and they all lead to the same place. So you either learn the theory and then enjoy it, or you learn the songs and enjoy it too. So when somebody like Paul McCartney says he don't know music theory, he is not necessarily lying, but he knows what he's doing. And so if you had a song something like and he's modulating in Penny Lane, he's modulating to A major, and it sounds perfect. Things like that, people who wrote music like this, they know what they're doing. And so by learning songs like this, by learning classic songs like Paul McCartney's songs, Penny Lane, of the rest of them, and with all the little details, you're learning theory without even knowing it, because you're learning the vocabulary, you're learning relationships between chords, which is the most important part. And so I'm a strong believer that you learn theory by learning songs, and you learn by learning songs, period. So learn as much songs as you can, basically, not only Mark's songs, because they are probably on the harder scale, on the harder difficulty level than the rest of the songs you can learn. Because I just played Penny Lane. Penny Lane seems to be this magnum opus masterpiece, but it's not difficult at all. It's like, and that's pretty much the entire song. The chorus is 3 chords. And then it goes back to the verse, and then it goes back to the chorus in A, and then it goes back to the chorus but in B now. So it switches. Keys, yeah. And other Beatles songs, famously, you can learn scales, Dorian modes. You can learn Dorian modes in the song. It's fun. I think learning songs is more important than theory, because I was never a fan of theory. I know a little about it, but that's not my thing. Just learn songs. Yeah, the Friends song is an interesting thing to consider. Of course, I need to cover something from Princess Bride, because it's happens to be a really famous and popular movie, and people really like it. Play Sailing to Philadelphia. Well, Sailing to Philadelphia seems to be this magnet. When people approach me for lessons, that's the song that gets into the discussion almost every single time. So because it's so good, and there are 2 ways. It's so good you can even approach it from 2 directions. So there is a harder level and the easier level. So easier would be with the capo on the 2nd fret, playing the same, and the regular thing would be like this. And I think, to be honest, I think it's the song that Mark is really proud of, because in his 2009 show he famously played Sultans of Swing, and then either after that, or it was something else, or it was Money for Nothing, I can't remember. First of all, he played a snippet of it, so he would play a small portion of this famous song, whatever it was, and later he said something like, unlike Sailing to Philadelphia, which is this song, which and he's right, it's a great song. And it's a really simple song. It's incredibly simple. The chords maybe not that simple because it requires some strength in the left hand. It requires some stretching in the left hand. Certainly not the easiest song to play. For instance, this stretch, little stretch here, and then it comes to the verse. It would be I'm Jeremiah Dixon. By the way, another song I can sing because it's too low, and the chorus, yes, goes back to the biggest problem probably here is this changing time signature, because it goes like 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's because again it's flowing, music is flowing around the words. It gets this stretched and twisted. So it's like 2/4, then 3/4, and back to 4/4, then back and forth between 3/4 and 4/4. But it's fun to learn. And it's really challenging, so I suggest everybody trying to learn this masterpiece. Yeah, this nails thing, you really sometimes can see in photos that Mark's nails are pretty long. I really don't know why he needs it, to be honest, but whatever. Yeah, it's probably a combination, of course, of nails, but just a little bit, really tiny amount. Money for Nothing on acoustic and try to learn. So the question is, I have one question, namely, do you mute first 2 strings when strumming down or just hit them? So Money for Nothing, first 2 strings when strumming down. Well, definitely no muting here. No, I think no muting. Whew. So they will be welcome. Yeah. Again, hi from France. Oh, by the way, I forgot my usual plug. So I don't have any courses, I don't have anything to sell, but what I do have is my Spotify collection, and so it's the link to it is in the description. And recently I've got a few comments about it, and that's my pretty much my collection of songs that I listen to. So as you can see, it's almost 1,000 songs at this moment, and I need to restart capture here. Yeah, so almost 1,000 songs, and I can do an entire live stream talking about these thousands of songs, because a lot of these means really a lot to me, so I can talk about it for eternity. So Renee and Georgette Magritte with their dog after the war. This is my Italy song, by the way. I listen to that in Italy a lot. This is my Rome song. So you can just take a peek at any song here. Job on a Massa, great little song here. Famously looking out my back door. That's just a masterpiece. 12 Bar Blues by NRBQ is an interesting song, because in this song the singer is actually counting down the bars. So he's playing the 12 bar blues and he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they actually count the bars. It's the only song that can do that I ever heard. I Started the Joke is a great song by Bee Gees, and I first heard it in the movie by Penn and Teller. I can't remember the name. I think Penn and Teller gets killed. It was the name of the movie, and so it was in their movie. This Forever song is a really amazing song. This Fly Me to the Moon duet between Julie London and Gregory Porter is amazing. Just this kind of pre AI, great thing. I Don't See Me in Your Eyes Anymore, great song by Charlie Rich. Cheek to Cheek, that's the masterpiece by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. Jingle Bells had a great bass line, so just it's amazing how many songs are there. Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys, but it's not the usual Wouldn't It Be Nice. It's an instrumental stereo mix, because you see, for the 50th anniversary they released an entire album, Pet Sounds, without voices, and you can take a listen at all the structure and appreciate the beauty of the music. This is the best version of Bridge Over Troubled Water right here. Underrated, The Spy by the Doors, great little song. And by the way, speaking of Brian Wilson, that's a great song from his solo album. Yeah, so just I'm really proud of this little collection, and I've collected it basically for 20 years, and it's the tip of the iceberg of things I listen to. This is O Mio Babina Caro, so this originally it's a classical area, but it's in kind of the hard rock metal kind of way, and right after that is Masquerade by Sky. Of course, Masquerade is a famous waltz by a Russian composer. Can't remember his name right now, but it's really great. Yeah, so I often get comments on this collection, because people like write to me, great collection, great music. And the best comment I ever got for my music collection is that somebody got into friend's house or somebody else's, I can't remember, and this guy had your playlist playing, and so yeah, sometimes even random people use it like that. Danny Boy is a masterpiece by Chieftains, really great song. Columbia is one of the best instrumental tracks I know by Acoustic Alchemy, great group. Yeah, just so many songs. That's what I do. I listen to ton of stuff, so not only Mark's stuff. Yep, so that's my little plug here. Shameless plug. Thanks for all you have done for Knopfler fans. Yeah. Likewise, thanks for watching, because I would never imagine 6 million views or something when I started. Do you plan to record more MK lessons? Of course, because I said I was kind of depressed lately, but now I'm feeling better. Oh, поздравляю с годовщиной Knopflerism. Спасибо. Can you play MK News? So it was something like... So you see, sometimes I need to refresh my... Yeah, with things like that, I'll go back and watch my own video, believe it or not, or listen to the song, and then that's why I do what I do. Is just if I need to remember the song, I'll just listen to it once and I go like, yeah, this is the chord there. Yeah, it was something like that. And go back to the... Yeah, great song. An underrated album, I think, too. Yep, always a pleasure, of course, always a pleasure. And I'm having so much fun talking about Mark's music almost every day. In fact, I never stopped teaching privately, so I'm almost every day I'm having fun building up knowledge and experience to make better videos, in fact. So I'm continue working, and everybody who supports me, it's not in vain. I will return. Can you play wherever I go? Oh, because I never really made a video about it, it's difficult for me to approximate it. But what I can do is I can go to Ultimate Guitar tabs, accept it or whatever. I can search for wherever I go Knopfler, and Of course, what you've got here is my tablature, because that's what happens. But the problem here is it's a really old tablature, so it was like from 2015, so 10 years ago. That's already a 10 years old tab, so it's probably filled with mistakes, probably. I'm not sure, but let's try it. Maybe you can for sure you can approximate this song from this arrangement of chords. Probably if you follow this legend here, you can approximate it even better. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the chord diagrams, and I just play it. It's how it works. And in fact, Nashville session musicians, they even go further, and they are doing something even I'm blown away by. And they would not write A minor 7. They would just write like 6 7. So it's 6th chord of the key, and it's a minor 7 version of it. And that's what, and you can basically, singer can tell it's in C major or whatever, and he will know that it's the right chord. So it's the Nashville number system, and unless you're a professional working in Nashville, you don't need that. Trust me, it's too difficult. But it's a great song. It's a fan favorite, in fact. Despite it being really slow and really this kind of it's not a guitar song, I think. It's, of course you can play it on a guitar, but it's folky. There's a place in my heart. Maybe always know. No matter how long since I saw you, keep flames for you. Some great solo guitar, of course. Yeah, so you can approach it like that. I never played it recreationally and just for fun. You need to sing songs like that, especially I actually sang this song with a girl, and it's just singing in harmony might be the best thing on earth, period. Just when two voices blend in, it's unbelievable. So I think the Everly Brothers had the happiest life from all the humans that lived, because it's just pure enjoyment. And of course, singing harmony is one thing, but listening to harmony is another thing. And you can find tons of examples of harmony singing in my Spotify playlist, of course. Hi from Argentina, great. I'm a big fan of Mark's right hand technique. It reminds me of the comment for what it was. Marbletown, yeah, Marbletown. Comment was, I want Mark's right hand. Of course. I would be happy with both hands, but right hand will do too. Yeah, that's another question about the right hand. Hi from Germany. Huge work in the right hand. Yeah, you see, another great comment I saw recently. Somebody said left hand or fretting hand for a musician is what you know, and the right hand or picking hand is what it's who you are. So what you know and who you are. And that's true because pretty much the 99% of Knopfler sound is in the picking hand anyway. With some, of course, influence from the left hand for sure, because certain tricks and things like this thing, like I said, when you're holding E minor but not playing it in the so to get this exact sound, it's really difficult, and you need to follow basically this exact procedure of playing here with the thumb or at the top, then this slide here. So in order to get it to sound exactly like this, it's of course the combination of right and left hand. Mostly the right hand, and the Money for Nothing riff is the greatest example probably of this, because you'll go like okay, even how to start the damn thing. So it's like it's down and up, or it's like it's muted strings and then up. So it's really then this slide, then in right hand it's 3 fingers on 2 strings, then this downstroke, and there are 3 types of downstrokes. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable stuff. Love your acoustic version of On Every Street. Yeah, that's a song that works on an acoustic guitar for sure. Because there is nothing that screams it needs to be played on an electric guitar, and that's true for the majority of Mark's songs. And often what happens is songs gets I believe written on the acoustic guitar anyway. So that's why it sounds in place. I hope I understand this question. So could you explain the following? How does MK strum chords? How does he play rock and roll rhythm? That's the technique to play fast licks, just Mark MK does. So this rock and roll this rock and roll rhythm it's all about dynamic range. So what I mean is it's again when you're studying Mark's music and guitar playing, you realize like it's really simple, yes, but attention to detail again is this huge thing. So I can build an entire course, and I probably should, on this rock and roll kind of rhythm, because all it really is you're taking one of these, which happens to be my Gibson medium pick, and so you're playing something like, and then replace it by basically thumb and fingers. So your thumb is the downstroke with a pick, and your fingers is the downstroke, or I don't know, the second stroke with a pick. So you get when you're playing this riff, especially, there's not too many ways you can go with it. So there's only 5 fingers in right hand, and so even staying in one place here, that's all you can really do, realistically speaking. You can play the thumb, you can play a downstroke, and you can play an upstroke. I don't know what else you can play here, having again 5 fingers like I do. But then you start to realize it sounds bad. It sounds like a bad version of this. But because at least this is powerful and it's energetic, but this. But then how you can improve on that, of course, that is the question. And you do it by expanding your dynamic range. What I mean is, because what I'm playing here is I'm playing a huge thumb, and I'm blocking it with my index finger here, and it's this kind of bouncy and loud thumb. Then I'm playing a simple and tiny little upstroke, and I'm physically blocking the string. And then I do the same thing when I'm playing a downstroke. I'm blocking it immediately. So it's all about this blocking. And so already it already sounds better. But then I add this little layer of even more dynamic range when I play the ridiculously loud thumb, and then I continue with this. And you get pretty much this kind of rhythm, which is of course another huge topic on its own, this kind of rhythm, because it's iconic. And I remember when I first heard that, it was some kind of the video from the internet, French television interview. I can't find it anymore, but Mark played it on a Les Paul, and it was something like played something like that, and I was like, what, how it's played, I still can't understand, but at least I can approximate it, because of course, talking about perfectionism, you basically need to have Mark's hands in order to do that, because guitar is a very physical instrument, and so unless you literally have Chet Atkins's hands or Mark's hands, you can't really replicate it truly, I mean. But there are things like this, like I told you, with this dynamic range. And also playing a little bit closer to the bridge. And then you play something like so it's really this kind of the bounciness of it is really incredible. And the question was strum chords. So this it's also another huge topic on its own. So again, it's each and every topic here is huge, because there are basically 5 types of downstrokes. So it could be 2 fingers downstroke strokes when you're attacking strings with 2 fingers like that. And there could be a single finger downstroke when you're taking the middle finger and playing it pretty much like that. There could be a 3 finger downstroke. It's when you're strumming like this. So pretty much using your hand as a pick, sort of. So of course there are limitations. Almost nobody probably playing with index and ring finger downstroke. Probably nobody plays single ring finger downstroke. So pretty much 2 fingers, index and middle, 3 fingers, and middle alone. And middle alone is used in the things where you've got some action happening. So if I'm playing I have some kind of the melody, I need other fingers, so my options are limited, and because my index finger could be preoccupied playing melodies, I basically need to resort to playing with one middle finger and replace the downstroke. And this 2 finger downstroke is used in things like in fix like that, where you need really a lot of energy. Money for Nothing is pretty much 2 finger downstrokes all the way, where you need this punch and this crazy energy going into it. And these fast licks, it's of course I'm not a fan of fast licks. But try to think of it as, again, just this replacing a plectrum. So if you play a line, I'll take thumb, and I alternate between, because a lot of Mark's lines you can simplify it. And for instance, this lick from I'll See You in My Dreams, you can play it with a pick. But of course it sounds cooler with the it's great. I covered this stuff a lot on my channel. I listen to MK and the Dire Straits every day. I assume you do too. How does your partner deal with it? Mine is sick of it but can't get enough. Yeah, I already told you I barely listen to Mark's music at all, because I listen to so many songs. That's what I listen to. It's not Mark's music at all. And to be fair, I had my fair share of listening to Mark's music to a lot. I remember listening it a lot. But what happened is I internalized it, and so it's pretty much like, this, how in China they would brew tea in teapots, and after some time teapot is so full of this tea that it's been brewing tea for years, and you pretty much can just put a little bit of boiling water in it and it will brew a tea for you. So basically, it's how I work. I listen to this music for so long, and in such a magnification that I can basically play it in my head. So it's like play a little bit of Imelda, play a little bit of Golden Heart, play a little bit of whatever. And so I return to it from time to time, but mainly I listen to anything but Mark's music. Hello. Any tips for transcribing chords, especially those jazz voicings he used? Greatest thing about Mark's music and Mark's playing is that probably unless you're going into territory of real jazz musicians and real guitar heroes, and people like Mark use simple stuff. It's never will go beneath your basic caged. For instance, in the it's all the simplest shapes you can ever think of. For instance, this one, all it is you'll take something. It's the caged version of D minor. So you take D minor, that's your basic D minor, and then you move it around, say for in any shape, and that's your D minor, and then you remove the bass to here, and that's your voicing. It's as simple as that. It's D minor with F in the bass, but it sounds incredibly jazzy, and I think it was used in Bologna again. I think in the "Lord is my shepherd, and he leads me past his dreams." I can't play it right now, but it was used. This voicing was used in the in Bologna again. Things like that's also straight from the caged system, so that would be your G7. That's, by the way, the thing he played in the photo. It's also a caged seventh. That's the seventh chord. E7 happens to be. So that's your basic caged. So look up caged voicings, and that's it. Not more difficult than that. What do you think of Lorenzo version of Postcards from Paraguay? Of course, you can go. The thing he's talking about is, so you can Google Lorenzo. Of course you like stuff like that. He's talking about this video in particular. Great fingerstyle arrangement. I like that. I liked it. And this song, man, this song in particular, that's another, speaking of my favorite albums, Shangri-La album is full of songs like that. It's just masterpiece from every conceivable angle. The arrangement, the sound, guitar sound, the guitar part is It's it's so beautiful. It's definitely worth learning, and as you can see here in the picture of these two great gentlemen, Andrea is actually a very famous, in some circles, of course, the fingerstyle player. He's amazing, and as you can see, he's playing with the capo on the first fret, and Lorenzo playing with the capo on the sixth fret, which is the starting configuration of the song. So when you learn postcards from Paraguay, what I usually do is you learn the rhythm guitar part because it's easier, of course, and you get get to know how the song works, how it progresses, and when it goes to the verse, it's like. First time it goes through E minor. So many reasons why I'm sending postcards. Now it goes through E major, and then goes flawlessly going back to the way this song works, the way it just perfectly represents this Paraguayan style of music. Again, it reminds me of things like this famous Paul Simon thing he wrote lyrics for. I can't remember now, but I mean this famous composition, just this vibe and this how they played it with flutes, and it's unbelievable. It's a great song, and with songs like that you can play it on a kettle and it will still sound great. Your videos improved my playing. Yeah, I learned to live with that because, again, when you're doing something for 10 years, you kind of accept that you help people, and I finally accepted this fact. Hi from India. Right away, it reminds me of the song Indian Summer by The Doors. One of the greatest little songs. Will you do some videos on Planet of New Orleans? Yeah, Planet of New Orleans. I want to tackle this song, and I want to tackle it from the angle of New Orleans cover of this guy. So this version is really good, so I'll recommend you to check it out. So listen to this and you'll pretty much will get my lesson for this song, because it's really simple and it's I'm not showing. Yeah, so this right here, it's a great version of the song. Not too many great or crazily difficult chords in there, but of course the structure of the song dictates it to be difficult. But I don't know yet how to tackle it, but I want to do it, of course, because it's a masterpiece, like any other song from Mark. My channel, 14 Dire Straits guitar lessons. Yeah, have at it. I mean, it's a great music, and I'm going for 10 years already or something. So it's a never-ending supply of fun. What's your opinion on Silvertown Blues, both for his guitar work and as a song? Well, I've got so many great comments about this song. the people discussing the bass line, how the bass line in this song works. My favorite part about Silvertown Blues is just how it develops. So it starts like this. Then it slowly builds up, progresses, and with these great mentionings of London places. And the chorus, it's a relatively simple song, because the chorus is something like going down, it's really Dire Straits, like, I think. Then it breaks down back to D minor, so it's really this kind of rocky Dire Straits like, but the vibe and the solo at the end, this little solo, it's really something. Of course, it's one of the songs I'm just dreaming of featuring on my channel. But these are really big songs, so how you can talk about it? It begins simple, yeah, but then it just progresses and overwhelms you. So it's an incredible song. But this entire album, in fact. Traveler Man's Song, Please. Yes, that's one. Of course, when I'm teaching these things, it's unbelievable. You just take any song and you discover these little things. I teach Traveler Man's Song primarily because of its great strumming, and when it gets to the chorus, I'm transcribing in real time because I can't remember how it went. Probably something. The best part about this song is how it returns back to the verse through this. And speaking of not remembering stuff, what I can do is, again, I can search Traveler Man's Song Knopfler lesson, and bingo, chords. All right, here are the chords, and the part I was talking about is probably somewhere in the solo section here, so let's play that. So la, la, la. Yeah, so that was the part. So this bluesiness of it is just incredible. So you get to, from the verse, which is already amazing, you get to this solo to F major 7 to E minor to this really interesting kind of voicing. And through this really bluesy turnaround, you get back to this amazing song, what I can tell. Just amazing. Great lyrics too, and again, Shangri-La, man. Thanks for answering questions. What do you think about the Get Lucky album? Yeah, Get Lucky. I hold some really great memories about Get Lucky because it was released in September, I think. And I got a hold of it in August, I think. And I spent some great summer nights listening to that album. So when I hear these songs, Border River, and the ending songs, I cried listening to this stuff, so it's really great. Yeah, it's one of the greatest albums of his, and the Get Lucky theme on itself is amazing. Great little finger picking song / exercise. I recommend learning it. Why do you think? Can you play Monteleone? That's it's one of the occurrences when for Monteleone I played the full song, so I played the entire song in my beginning section, and I can't already remember how it went, but I can always go to this channel right here and type Monteleone Knopfler lesson, because you see I can't remember all the songs, so I may seem like this walking jukebox of songs, but no, it doesn't work like that. I'm always relearning. I'm always relearning stuff, and so keep on the second fret, all right, and you can always relearn it. It's quite remarkable how a simple song like this can just be so overwhelmingly beautiful. This orchestra is just on point, and I think it was recorded with this little chamber orchestra, I think. So it's something. It's really something. And imagine how Sir Monteleone would feel receiving a song like this. And I think Mark actually flew him to his studio to check this song out, and basically gifted it to the guitar builder. And I saw comments about this song that it's like cheesy or stuff like that. Forget about it. It's a great song. What do you think is Mark's best song? Of course, it's a list question, so it's like you need to assign first, second. I always remember this great article which was called something like Best Marx Songs, and surprisingly, the best song wasn't Sultans of Swing, and it was the Rag Picker's Dream, and I absolutely agree. This song. It's probably Mark's finest song, to be honest, and I would consider it. Of course, I would put it on the top place of any list for sure. I agree, because the way it's just how imaginative it is. You will never know about what this song is about. It's the Rag Picker's Dream, and I think even if you're a native English speaker, I saw really different opinions about this song, but I think that's the best song. And I recommend to learn it because it's got really great chords. So it's like this G6, G minor 6, all these slash chords, of course the half diminished chords, or even chords like that, which is D7 over G sharp. So, and for me, as a lifelong jazz lover, and of course you can tell by my collection of music that it's just filled with jazz. I'm a lifelong jazz lover, and so songs like The Rag Picker's Dream just speaks to me, really. It's not only a great song, it's a great jazz song. It's a great Christmas song. It's the ultimate Mark Knopfler song, I think. Denomination Blues by Notting Hill Police. Yeah, I need to cover some of their stuff too. Money for Nothing solos. Money for Nothing solos. Yeah, it would be interesting. Not like I'm terribly interested in that because it's a huge song, and I already Money for Nothing is my most viewed video of all time. Of course. Yeah, big songs like Private Investigations, Telegraph Road, they just bigger than life. So you see, like songs like this were just on top of things, and then on the first place you've got The Rag Picker's Dream. And favorite album is Shangri-La. Yeah. So interestingly, my favorite song comes from The Rag Picker's Dream, but the album overall is Shangri-La. I think that's my favorite. The first three are really good. Yeah. The best album for me would be the first one, Love Every Song. Yeah, and as noted by one of my students, is like, or everybody's. And with things like Mark's career arc, if you can call it arc, character arc, with this career, just like with the Beatles and all other stuff, you can clearly see this improvement. So you start with these kind of songs, then you progress, and the song like "The Rackpicker's Dream" would never appear in the first Dire Straits album, and of course a song like "Sultans of Swing" will never appear on the Rackpicker's Dream album too. So it's symmetrical in that way, but you can clearly see the direction. And it's like, again, talking about the Beatles, it's when you go from "She Loves You" to "Penny Lane" in the span of 5 years or so. What about the best solos? Well, arguably, I think people vote Tunnel of Love solo to be the best, probably, because it's probably the simplest, and it famously starts just with one note, and you're already hooked, absolutely hooked, and already crying. And in fact, the Alchemy version of Tunnel of Love might be the song I listen to the most, probably. My favorite part is then it breaks down and goes to this solo section. It's unbelievable. That's the good part about Marcus, that so many great songs. It's not the one hit wonder, that's for sure. Let me see. Greetings from Jerusalem. Wow. That's so great. I would love to visit it. My parents visited it once. What about the outro solo of What It Is? Yeah, What It Is in as a whole is, again, it's probably Mark's most recognizable and famous solo song, I think, because it's just Dire Straits basically. The build up in this song. Oh, and speaking of What It Is, while we're still on this page, what I recommend you doing is going on YouTube here and typing What It Is Knopfler expanded version, extended version of, or whatever. So the thing was, this song originally, yeah, as you can see, it's 3 and 45 seconds, or this remastered version is 4 and 35 seconds, but there is a whole new verse that you never heard, probably. And as you can see here, it explains a rare Mexican version of the song, which has an extra verse. And it goes, and a stands above me on the feet and by the green. I walk inside his shoes before, so always buy his magazine. He took a look at mystery of blue stands on her hands. I like the way she winks at me when I leave her in the heart of man. And when you listen to this song in the basic version, you cannot unhear the transition when they remove this verse. And so I like this full version better. It's better. I like it more. Yep. And I like it. And this song, by the way, is probably closest Mark ever got to be a rapper, because things he sings there. Let me just grab What It Is lyrics by probably some rapper here, but I'm interested in this rapper. So there's fraud and grace in the money man's, but the travel is a moment in town. People curse the government and show it something down. The castle and the keep. It's just incredibly complex and fast lines. And what I like here is would be this verse right there. There's a chink of light, there is burning week, there is lantern in town. We will be winking with a candlestick, there's writing songs and BVRs and Charles Street. I tried to sing it, and it's so, I don't know, it's so energetic and it's so good. It has this crazy lyrics sang over this folk harmony with driving rock kind of tone, bluesy song with great guitar. Mark Knopfler, yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of comments about Dylan guitar. Of course, you can't go on YouTube, search anything Knopfler, and you'll immediately be greeted by Dylan. He's great, all what I can say. You can see talent from 100 miles. And I'm not doing covers, I'm doing lessons. You see, that's the problem, because I'm not on this kind of level, because Dylan plays so much that he basically destroyed his guitar. I mean, like I say, like I usually say, he relicked the guitar by just playing it for so much. So that's the secret right there. I mean, if you want to be on this level, you need to strip down your guitar to bare bones by playing it. Les Boys is an underrated track, yeah, possibly inspired by Freddie Mercury. I think so, because he went to Germany a lot to do his things. Making movies, yes, another wonderful album. Yeah, Goodbye Paul, okay, nice to have you. Making Movies is a really emotional album. Yeah, it's great, and that's the first sign of the great expansion of great expansion of Mark's work. Yeah, hello Dave the dude, you're a great dude. Can you do Wild West End? Yeah, I'll take a look at these comments. Wow, 22 years old from Italy, man. Yeah, I see this, young people also appreciate Mark's music, which is really nice. Because current music is not to this level. Please make a cover whenever you go in. Speedway at Nazareth, yeah. Speedway at Nazareth. It's what a song. How it went. Let's try to remember it. This song, man, it's so interesting because it's got this it's got these elements of electronic music with this Vangelis like Chariots of Fire kind of keyboards and this incredible country vocals, really country vocal harmonies, just like straight up from some kind of a country album. But then it struck you with this bluesy guitar. Then it has got this finger picking portion of it. Then it's got this rock guitar solos. So this song has everything. Speedway at Nazareth, totally recommended song. And my favorite part, I always tell about Speedway at Nazareth, is how it begins. After 2000 came 2001, and again, only a racer can know what it means. It just means the next season. So it's the changing of seasons and things like that. Little details make it work. After 2000 came 2001. Great stuff. Small potatoes. Yeah, man. Who knows about this song? Like, raise your hand. Nobody. Small potatoes. There is a song of Mark's called Small Potatoes, and it's great little small potatoes. It's a B-side or something, so it's hidden in the discography, but it's great. Small potato. Yeah, I kind of want to listen to that. Coyote is also a beautiful song from the Recuperated Dream. Yeah, amazing song. Again written by Mark watching his kids, I believe, watching cartoons. And so the greatest part about Coyote is this bass, because you need to tune your bass one step down, the D, and so that's why it's so boom 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 boom. And somebody asked about Wild West End, so I might as well tune my guitar to the open G, so it's like it's like really low, boom 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 boom. Really catchy, great. Another fact about Coyote is that the trumpets in this song are, I believe, synthesized, so it's not real trumpets. But the greatest part about, again, Mark's attention to detail is that in this song you don't need real trumpets. These will do. These trumpets in the song will do perfectly. And in fact, not only will they work, but they would not turn your attention from other things in the song. So fake trumpets work even better with songs like that. How your friends are doing, like Blahin, Alexei? Yeah, they're doing fine. In different countries, living different lives. Because we're all Russian, you can imagine the difficulties of our lives. Yeah, open G is probably the easiest open tuning, and famously, of course, Rolling Stones, famous for open G. And so yeah, the question was about Wild West End. I can approximate Wild West End. It was something like with the capo on the 7th fret. My favorite part about this song, of course, is this, how it goes. Let's try me to, again, try to transcribe it from my internalized jukebox. especially the live version. I totally recommend you to check it out. So again, go on YouTube, type Dire Straits Wild West End live, and yeah, where it is. Okay, live Wembley. So there was okay, live 1986. I can't find it. But anyway, check out Wild West End live versions. They are insanely good. Yeah, it's probably something like that. I remember I had my favorite version, but this version is insanely good. Just incredibly good. And no solos from Mark at all. He's just like enjoying strumming, enjoying the simple strumming. That's the best part about it. But that's what I'm enjoying doing too, just strum songs, strum away songs. A place where we used to live and everybody pays. I've just was re-listening Shangri-La album, and this song Everybody Pays is so great. The bass line in this song, the drums, the solo section is unbelievable. So again, we'll go on YouTube in Everybody Pays another lesson, and it just, if you go there, let's take a look at the chords. So you've got this, gotta shut up my horse, so what, I'm up again, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom, going to this suspended 2 chord, playing one of his big saloons on Main, pin, pirim, can come up here. Phew, great songwriting. And then you've got this chorus, and then it goes to the solo section, which is in different key, and the transitions between the sections is flawless. And again, one of my favorite songs. Very enjoyable to play, very enjoyable to play along to, very enjoyable to everything else. Pity it's 1,500 views. That's unfair. That's absolutely unfair. What's your favorite song? I already told you it's The Direct Picker's Dream. Greetings from Sweden. Thank you for all hard work. Love Sweden, man. I love every single country mentioned in this thread. Do you have any tips for getting good tone with your thumb on electric? Always sounds muddy to me. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, the first key would be probably, I don't know, trying to move your hand maybe a little bit closer to the bridge. I really don't know. I need to, it's like a doctor, I need to see you in order to narrow it down. And you see your name is Medic 855. That's probably you're asking. So I need to see you. Oh, sorry, Medic. It's a different person. Yeah. Stefan asked about the thumb. But I already almost 2.5 hours in, so I'm Lights of Taormina and River Towns. Yeah, Lights of Taormina. When I first heard this song, and not only this song, but this tracker documentary that I first saw this documentary, and there is a section in this documentary where the Lights of Taormina is playing.
Stuff is just sounds beautiful.
And this lick right there, it's something like it's an open B flat or something, I can't remember. I'm not sure if I can approximate it here. It doesn't work. You need to open D tuning for it to work. It's an amazing line here, and if you're curious, it's in this after the second minute in the tracker documentary. It's an amazing song, of course. Inspired by Bob Dylan. River Towns. Yeah, so I'm closer to the finishing with this little live stream. And yeah, what else I can talk about? Probably about things I would never think could ever happen. So what happened was I was actually promoted by Mark and his team, and it happened. I've got a bunch of screenshots. I'll share a bunch of screenshots here. So just out of the blue, I was mentioned in Mark's social media and for a number of times, in fact. So I saved that, and of course treasure these memories, and that with enough of hard work you can always receive some recognition. And it's just it never happened. I mean, if you know who this guy is, it doesn't happen. This doesn't happen, just never. I would somehow, sometimes it happens, and I was really struck by it. Nobody ever contacted me. So it just happened just like that for 3 times, and I'm very glad. I'm very happy. And after this, I just don't have any other choice but to persevere and continue doing what I do. Learn to play with Pavel. That's what a perfect ending for this live stream. So hopefully we'll be able to continue learning with this guy. I mean this guy, which is me. Yep. So what else I wanted to talk about? Let me grab my notes. There are so many great things, like 8th and 16th note strumming of Redbud Tree. It's also really good. Okay. Yeah, there is recently John Ilsley's interview came out on Mary Spender channel. I recommend you to check it out, of course. Where it was somewhere. Yeah, something like here. And something on the Nebula channel also came out. He's a great guy. What a great gentleman. Oh, yeah, you keep asking these great questions. And chess. Man, I'll even retune my guitar back to standard. Yeah, chess is a kind of the song I really want to. So what I'm doing is, after I won with my depression. I want to return back to my split screen videos, but it's not easy, as you can imagine. So Chess is one of the recent songs, and I can't remember how it went. It went something like I can't remember how it went, but if I listen to that for once or check my notes, I can probably remember how it goes. Let me check my notes. Yeah, I'll need to search for that. Yeah, but whatever. Great song. Let's try to learn it in real time. This chord I can't remember. Then yeah, I remember all the rest of the song, which is this I like this song. Classic Knopfler. Classic. Hello everyone. What you think about the new album? I like it. It's a little bit dark to my taste. Sometimes too personal, probably, but very good. And I plan again to record more videos from that album too, for songs like Chess and all the rest of them. Yeah, the only thing that will help you playing fast is playing slow. It's incredibly counterintuitive, but if you play something like this, by only knowing the exact movements and practicing it slowly, you can build up to speed. Yeah, so play it slow, and not only slow, but just unimaginably slow, inhumanly slow. So like just playing slowly. Do you familiar with the J.J. Cale's music? Yeah, he's great. Famously, he's got a few of the famous covers of his songs, like Cocaine. Great, amazing songwriter. Yep, and I always say that I even had a little playlist where I've counted songs that sound like Mark wrote it. That's called inspiration. Whew. Yeah, so it's almost 3 hours now, so I need to go. Yep. So what can I tell you? So try to check it out. Check out my website for lessons that's already there. Almost 10 years of worth of work in there, and almost 10 years of work here. Yep. And I plan to continue working. And check out my Spotify playlist right there. Already 250 saves. That's impressive for nobody's playlist. That's impressive. But I keep working on that too. So as you can see, there's songs added 2 weeks ago, some French songs. I've got some Chinese songs, Spanish songs, Italian songs, some Russian songs too, by the way. Yeah, in Russian. Hope you like it. See you on the other side. Yeah. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. I'm a huge fan of Doors. Of the Doors. I wish you, your family, and your friends just the best. Thank you. Likewise. Yeah, thanks everybody. Whew.